Let's try that. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, good day, whatever time zone you're in. My name is Keith Allen. I'm one of the co-founders of Material Indicators, and today going to run through our new web app and our fire charts, which are a live look at the order book and order flow. And I'll get into what that is in just a minute. Let me invite our friends in our global trading community on Telegram, which we invite you to join us in. Got a great group of traders over there around the world, literally. Like probably at last check, 50, 60 countries. Like literally a global community. And, not a lot of memes, not a lot of shilling, but instead just traders trying to help each other become better traders. So I encourage you to join us on Telegram. I encourage you to join us at our website, which is materialindicators.com. And I'll show you what that looks like here in just a second. A reminder, I am not a financial advisor. Nothing we do here is trading advice or financial advice. Trading is risky. Do your own due diligence. Never risk more than you can afford to lose. This is a high risk game, especially if you're trading crypto. The website, gosh, please check it out. I hope you will. We've got a whole suite of tools that we've recently launched that are available, including our MTF indicator, which is a mean reversion indicator that is absolutely phenomenal. Trend precognition indicator, and of course, our newly released fire charts. Let's do a change on screen sharing, and I can now share with you the website, which also has a place for you to join us on Telegram. So that's probably the easiest way to get there. Head to materialindicators.com. Sign up and subscribe so you get the updates of what we've got going on with new releases and products and pricing plans and things of that nature. Click the little icon here for Telegram and join us on Telegram. We've got a great global community helping each other become better traders. As I mentioned, our other indicators, trend precognition, MTF mean reversion, and of course, fire charts, the one that we're going to go through today. So it looks like actually a pretty big deal that Bitcoin, again, just smashing through liquidity and resistance at 13,000. Let's take a look and see exactly what that looks like on fire charts and how we can identify these moves and what might be behind them. So I will go ahead and load our brand new live web app. And here you can see the fire charts. And I'm gonna load a fresh one so you can see what it looks like when you load from the start. I'm just gonna refresh my page here so you can see a fresh chart loading. So you can pick your time frame, you can pick your pairs. We currently support all BTC pairs and all USDT pairs on Binance. We're literally in the process of building out the infrastructure to add additional pairs. So if you have a coin pair that you would like to see, you'd like me to flip through the chart here today, go ahead and post it in the comments on Periscope or on YouTube, or if you're in our Material Indicators community already, post it there and I'll get it, or Brad will send it to me, and we will see if we can accommodate a few chart requests here. So let's look at BTC. Obviously been on some big moves here past couple days, and let's see if those big moves might continue. And what just put us through 13,000? Is this going to hold? What's behind it, right? So this is, again, a live look at the order book on Binance. And you can see where resistance was just broken. There was $3 million in resistance here. At one point, it was about 3.7 million. You see it get tapped here, takes out a little bit of liquidity, about $500,000 worth. And now it's all been cleared. So what was behind that move here, right? If you look at our CVD, for those who aren't familiar with it, CVD is the cumulative volume delta. And ours is a little bit different. Lots of people offer a CVD product. What's different about this particular product is we filter or bin the CVD by volume class. And I'm going to show you why that is important to see. It's important because by doing this, you can see exactly when whales and sharks are making their moves. Retail traders can't disguise themselves as retail traders can't disguise themselves as whales, but whales can obviously reduce the size of their order so you can't see what they're doing. But you can see this bump right here, right? And here's the volume classes. The blue line is truly the CVD, the cumulative volume delta. It is the all orders. Orange, $100 to $1,000 orders, largely considered retail traders. Although, again, other classes of traders could disguise their orders by breaking them up into smaller orders so that they don't necessarily move the book as much. Green is $1,000 to $10,000, and red $10,000 to $100,000 orders. Purple $100,000 to $1 million orders, and brown $1 million to $10 million market orders. Buy orders, sell orders. You can tell if it's buying or selling by whether the line goes up or down. So this is a normalized view, which makes it easier to identify the moves. And you can see that pretty much all volume classes are buying here. That helped break it through 13,000. But what is beneath that? What is below that? Not much. 600,000, a million, another million. And then it takes to about the 12,800 range to get to $3.5 million of support down here. So this is how we're using this tool to identify resistance, support, and the liquidity that's in the order book, right? And you can now see when market sentiment is buying, selling, and what the potential targets might be, right? So let's say we've just cleared 13,000 as we did. The next resistance is in this 13,200 range, which if you go back earlier, and this was last night, you can see that's where we topped out yesterday. So that's the local top, but 14,000 is really the heavy resistance that everybody has had their eye on for a very long time. And let's see what that looks like, right? So if we can clear this 13,200, then it looks like we'll have a barrier in the 13,500 range. That's not too surprising, pretty predictable as this market goes. And as we manipulate the chart, we see what sits here between 13,500 and 14,000. 3 million there, another 1.5 million there, another 3.5 million there, 900,000. My thought is that as price moves up above 13.5, you're going to see likely more liquidity come into this range. But look what happens. Look what this chart just reset. It reloads every 5 minutes. Look what happens. And by the way, I think I mentioned that we're adding additional exchanges. We're building out the infrastructure to do that so we can accommodate multiple exchanges. And we're also in the same process building out so that we can run this chart in pretty much real time. So it will be literally a live chart similar to any other live chart that you're looking at. Look what happens after 14,000. And again, as price moves up here, we're going to see more come into the order book here, but there is not a whole lot standing between 14,000 and 15,000, and there's not even much at 15,000. So, I would certainly expect this to fill in as price moves up. But first, we've got a couple of hurdles to clear for Bitcoin. Something cool that we're doing here also when you're uncertain of what the price might do and you're trying to get a little bit better picture. Sometimes by looking at the leveraged coins, you can see, where sentiment is going. And we do support the leveraged coins here at Material Indicator. So let's look at BTC down on Binance and see what the sentiment is there. It looks like, like sharks have been buying. Everybody else has been selling, but they do seem to be coming up on some support here, right? And again, this is a leveraged coin, BTC down, which means when this price is going down, the asset price is going up. Let's look and see if BTC up paints a different picture, because we do see them coming into support here. Is there going to be a reversion here any minute? Well, let's see. Let's see if those who are leveraged long feel differently. Well, they've cleared that hurdle. They also had resistance right here, which has just been cleared, running into a little bit more resistance at the moment, but looks like some short gains, a sell-off, and another buy. So they bought this dip right here, right? Came up, hit resistance, dumped, bought the dip, and up again. And one more look at the mothership before we move on to another coin. Okay, so you see some new resistance coming in here, right? $2.9 million worth, and not a ton beneath it. So this could be a precarious situation. You can see how the BTC down coin was coming up on support. So nothing definitive out of that exercise in this particular example. But there's a lot of times it's very, very clear cut and defined. Let's look at another coin and see if we can get a gauge of what's going on. ETH obviously has also been on the move here, and certainly on a lot of people's minds since PayPal made their announcement yesterday that they soon will be not only accepting cryptocurrencies where people can buy and sell, but more importantly, and this speaks to adoption, going to allow you to purchase products with crypto. So that's absolutely huge, right? ETH USDT, we'll pull up the pair and see what that looks like here. As you can see, running into some heavy resistance up here at 420. This has been here for a long time. But you can see that it's also thinned out a bit, right? Earlier, we were looking at $8 million worth. You saw it start to thin out, and this wasn't getting taken out. This was removed. It was moved to another spot, perhaps. And we'll see if we can get a better idea of where that liquidity went by opening up the chart a little bit. So check this out. I'm going to turn off this price tool for the moment so that we can see the chart a little clearer. See where this liquidity was removed, right? And now I want to see how much was there and how much came back. There was 7.6 million, and it went to, essentially almost $2 million, around $2 million. $2 million was removed. And if you look relative to this time, right? Look up here, right? You can see an order placed here. You can see another faint line here. So chart just refreshed on us. But you can see that it looks like this trader actually laddered their sell orders up. So it didn't come off the order book. It just moved in the order book. It's important to note when that happens and that you can actually spot those moves when they happen here with fire charts. Now you see some liquidity coming back into this area. It's at $8 million worth, which is pretty stout for ETH. We look at the buying classes and see how everybody is treating this. You can see this upward trajectory of whales buying and all classes except, well, it took a little while for everybody to get on board. Whales and sharks were buying. Sharks were buying earlier, right? Sharks were buying from around 395, and whales came back in, and so did the other buying classes, with the exception of these retail size orders that took some gains and then sold these tops here. So by looking at this, you can see how we're using fire charts to identify exactly where resistance is and identify exactly how much resistance is there. You can see how we use it to identify where support is and what could be potential pitfalls with holes in liquidity between where price sits now and where that support is, right? So there's a few $1,000,000 to for well, there's some significant money in the book right here, holding this price up and trying to push it through. But should price fall to this level, should price fall to the 400 level, there's not really much holding it up before you get to 390. So that's how we use this tool to replace speculative decisions with data-driven decisions. You can now see the resistance. You can now see the support and exactly how much is there and how much is in between. And by looking at the different classes of buyers here in the CVD, you can see who's making the moves that are actually driving the spot price. Let me take a quick look and see in our community if we've got people requesting some charts here. If you'd like to see a specific chart, I encourage you to go ahead and put it in the comments section. And it will pop up. If you're in the community, you can post it on our Telegram channel. If you are not yet in our Telegram community, I encourage you to head over to our website at materialindicators.com and to check out some of the other products we have there and join our Telegram community. I see my man Oni flying by. Can't stay, but rock on, brother. Oni is like OG of our Material Indicators community. We have really an amazing global community of traders in our Telegram channel. And like I said before, it is not a meme fest. It is not a shill fest. It is a group of traders around the world, some seasoned, some novice, all of them sharing ideas, asking questions, sharing insights, gaining insights. It's a place for each of us to learn, and I hope that you'll come over and join us there. Real quickly, I see some requests here for Link and BNB. I'll get to those charts in a second. I just real quick want to show you a quick peek at the website so that you can figure out how to get to us on Telegram without sending you some crazy difficult links to memorize. If you head over to materialindicators.com, right at the very top is a link to our Telegram channel. I encourage you to join us there, whether you are buying our products or not. It's a great place to learn. It's a great place to get a feel for our tools because we share a lot of charts, we share a lot of ideas, and exchange a lot of ideas there. It's also, of course, a place where you can learn more about who we are, what we do, and our suite of products. We have a trend precognition indicator, which is, a great tool to have in your pocket. MTF mean reversion. This is like my daily driver. It is a mean reversion screener. You get literally hundreds, and on volatile weeks, thousands of signals a week. And, when you pair those signals up with fire charts, you can really, really find yourself a powerful trading system that helps you identify the opportunities and mitigate a lot of risk. And for anybody who has spent any amount of time in trading and has had any success, and for those of you who may be new to trading and are trying to find success, risk management is the number one most important thing to your long-term success as a trader. You got to mitigate that risk, and fire charts are a phenomenal way to do that. Let's get back into some more charts here. Let's go ahead and pull back up our Fire Charts web app and pull up BNB, another coin that I'd like to follow, but we've got a request in there. We've got a couple guys in the group in the community that really like to trade that coin. So let's see what BNB is doing. It's been making some moves here past couple days, and I'm kind of sorry I didn't take advantage of the opportunity to buy it on sale when it was there the other day. BNB USDT. Again, we're currently supporting USDT pairs and BTC pairs on Binance, and we're in the process of building out the infrastructure so we can add more exchanges. So look, BNB topped out here at about 31 and a quarter, somewhere in that range, 31.30 range, and now you're seeing a sell-off, right? The whales have been selling each of these peaks, and sharks, however, buying back in, and a lot of the other trading classes buying these dips to drive price up. So a lot of the liquidity cleared out overhead. This was at one point $2 million worth, and now it is $1 million worth. So, you know, that kind of carves a path to break through and move up to the overhead resistance. But you can see a whale dump here, and the rest of the market following, and then the smaller order classes buying this dip right here. So where could this go? Where could BNB settle? Is there enough here to hold it up, to break through this 33 level and beyond? And what's the downside risk here? So I'm going to zoom in and show you, and I'll also show you the zoom tool, which is pretty cool, right? If you click the zoom tool, you simply highlight an area, and you can see exactly a zoomed in view of what you got. And it also captures the CVD in that same area, so you can keep it relative and see what's going on here, right? So it looks like overhead 1.7 million in resistance overhead. Now look what happens here. If price should drop below 30, there's a little bit of a liquidity hole here, which means you could be back into the $29 range. And from there, I'm going to get another zoom. I didn't mean to do that. I'm going to click off this tool, and I'm going to refresh my chart. Okay, so we can see a broader view of where it might land, right? So look, comes through 30, there's a hole. There's basically a liquidity gap there that could get you to the $29 range. And if it falls through the $29 range, you can see, and if you follow this coin at all, these levels, these support levels and resistance levels are pretty predictable spots for BNB. Now look at this. This is interesting. 2.5 million in support was sitting here. What happened? Let's see what happened overhead when that came in and when it went out. When this support came in, and I'm going to turn off the price tool so we can see the chart a little better. When this support came in down here, you saw price reacting, right? Price went up. This whale started to use that momentum to sell into, to minimize the slippage, and really step down in several steps to try and minimize slippage, which worked, right? And on each of those opportunities, the rest of the market was buying back in. So you can see that whales have been stepping out of BNB, and now sharks are following, right? They bought their way up. Now sharks are following. Don't be surprised if you see a little bit of a pullback before it tries to surge above again. What else did they request? What was it? Link? Let me see. Let's go back to the link. Link USDT. Takes a few seconds to load a new chart. You know, once you've loaded it and you're back in and back out, it happens quicker, but it's just a tremendous amount of data to load that first screen. Man, look how this thing has just been on a tear and broken through the resistance. But you also have to realize, by taking that liquidity out, there's not a whole lot holding this thing up, right? So you see some nice targets, and this brings me to a great point of how we're using these tools to identify targets and mitigate some risk here, right? So if you were in this coin and trying to or considering making a trade at this point, you would first, I hope, notice that there is not a whole lot of support holding this coin up, at least not until you get down to the 1050 range, right? That's a long way down on a $12 coin. And overhead, you do see some resistance overhead. This would be a nice profit target here at 13, for a split take profit. So, depending on what your trading strategies are and how you like to set your targets, whether you use static targets or you speculate on where you think something could go using technical analysis, using this tool, you can literally see without any speculation exactly where the resistance sits and how much is there, exactly where the support sits and how much is there, exactly where secondary support sits. So, depending on where you got in this coin, you may be in here, you might you might say, okay, there's profit here. I don't want to take this ride back down. I want to lock in my profits with a trailing stop loss. Or you might say, hey, this could be, I'm willing to, my risk tolerance could ride this down to this range, to the $9 range, because I got in at 950. And you might say this would be a good DCA opportunity. So, or this might be where you want to stop loss. So you can use these levels of resistance and support and the liquidity in between to determine what your targets are. What is your profit target or your split top profit targets? What is your stop loss? What are your DCA targets? All of that can be identified right here on the fire charts. So right here, you see that we've got all buying classes, all classes of buyers are all in right now. They're all buying. Let's zoom in a little tighter and see how that translates to the price action that we see. Okay. So there's just a lot of data here. This will load in just a moment. So you'll, fill in the gap here. These charts are updating every 5 minutes. As I mentioned, we are, this is our first release. We do have our developers working right now to not only integrate more exchanges, but to increase the capacity and the speed that the charts load so that when we do get to that next release, we're actually going to be in more of a live mode where it's literally updating, within seconds. Let's see if I got anything else, any requests in my Telegram. Bear with me, my friends. Bear with me. If you're new to Material Indicators, I do hope that you will check us out online, materialindicators.com. I hope you'll consider joining our free trading community on Telegram. Like I said, nearly 1,000 traders around the globe, all adding to the conversation. It's not a meme site. It's not a shill site. We tolerate none of that. So it's just a group of traders around the world trying to share ideas and help each other become better traders. So you see the chart just updated here on Link, and it appears that we're at a support level. And look, there's a gap in liquidity. So, all buyers are in, and don't be surprised to see that move. Again, this is not trading advice. This is not financial advice. I'm just showing you how to read the charts and what you see, what I see, rather. Let's take a look at another one that was in the news yesterday. If you hadn't seen it, PayPal announced that they will soon be accepting crypto, and not only letting people buy and sell crypto, but they will be allowing you to make purchases with cryptocurrency using their platform. Initially going to be supporting Bitcoin, ETH, Bitcoin Cash, and Litecoin. Let's take a look at Litecoin and see what it is doing at the moment. Link has just been on a tear here. Litecoin, topped out at 56, about 56.15. And you could see a sell-off here. You see the whales, that's the purple class. And I don't know if I showed you this already of how to do this. But you can click away the other, anything that you don't want to see and isolate one buying class, right? So you can see where the whales were selling and how price was affected here. Whales sold here, and price stepped down and down. But you can also see that the cumulative volume, the actual CVD, the sum of all orders, bought this dip. And that's what brought the price back up. Now we're starting to see a sell-off again, coming into this resistance right here. And, will this be enough to hold it up? Will this 300,000 be enough to hold it up? That remains to be seen. If it doesn't, you have a pretty significant potential drop ahead of you. Bitcoin Cash was another one in the PayPal news. We'll take a look at Bitcoin Cash real quick and see what it may have in store. All right, so Bitcoin Cash looks like it just broke resistance and fell back on support. So is this a flip? Is this an RS flip? Let's see if we can get a better idea of what's happening here, right? So I want to take a look a little broader. Okay. Interesting. So you can manipulate these charts, by the way. Here's the tool. This is the pan tool. You can move it up, down, whatever. But also by using the zoom tool, you can, I don't even know if it's called the zoom tool or the scroll tool, but you can expand the chart on the axis if you like. And you can, of course, expand this way. You can also see a broader view, right? We're looking at the daily chart right here. What's happened for the week? We can pull up the weekly chart and get an idea of what, how things are trending. And as you can see, Bitcoin Cash has been trending bullish for the past few days. That's, again, we had some big news yesterday, and that's really been a driver for a lot of the price action that we're seeing here, in my opinion. Let's take one more look and see if we've got any more requests. Again, if you're new to Material Indicators, I encourage you to follow us on Twitter at MI_algos, on YouTube, and of course, head to the website and at materialindicators.com. And I highly recommend you join us on Telegram. Our Telegram channel is just a phenomenal community of traders, and everybody comments how much they like it there, that it's not like, full of shillers and memes. It really is a great place to come in and take part in a conversation. You can take part passively and listen, but we really like it when you engage and contribute ideas. It's a great place to share insights and gain insights in our Telegram channel. So Frosty Steve says SOL, please. All right, Frosty, thanks for checking us out. Let me see if I can pull that up for you real quick. SOL. SOL USDT. There's the weekly. Let's look at on the daily so we get a better look. Okay. So you can see all buying classes have been in since this dip down here. Coming up on a little bit of resistance, about $30,000 worth of resistance, not much support below. But what's the broader picture here? What's above? What's overhead? Also worth noting that the color scales here are relative to the volume of each coin, right? So on Bitcoin, white the other day was $20 million. Today, I think it's about 12. On SOL, white is about $200,000. So, the color scaling is relative to the liquidity on any given order book. And the way you use it is you simply look for the brightest spots to identify the most volume and liquidity, right? Just like a flame, just like fire, hence the name fire charts. This is the color scale of fire. The white part of the flame is the hottest part of the flame. White part of the chart is the most concentration of volume and liquidity in the chart. In this instance, about the highest thing we see is about 90,000. Yeah, about 90,000. That's the bright spot right now on what we see in this particular chart. So hope that gives you an idea. It looks like more buying going on here. So, this is kind of a mid-range zone with not a ton of support below, not a ton of resistance overhead, but clearly some sentiment to the upside here. So if you're trading that coin, hope you got some insight. If you'd like to get access to fire charts, we got a whole bunch of offers out. We literally have launched less than a month ago. So we've got some pretty killer deals for both shorter term and longer term licenses, including for anybody that really wants to go deep. And I imagine you're going to want to hang out in the community a little bit to get a feel for the tools, but we do have some limited time offers on some long-term bundles that really gets the price down. You can check them out again at materialindicators.com and check out the pricing plans and see if you find something that's right for you. While you're there, do not forget to click the button for our Telegram community. We'd love to have you there. It's a great community of traders, and there's no pressure for you to buy. There's no obligation for you to buy, but it's a great place to share insights and gain insights if you are trading in this space. Again, thanks for hanging out. My name is Keith Allen from Material Indicators. None of this is trading advice or investment advice. I am not a financial advisor. I'll never tell you how to spend your money, where to put your money. But I do hope that you learn something about using these tools, and hope that you will consider using them in the future to identify opportunities, mitigate risk, and start making data-driven decisions instead of speculative trading decisions. We'll see you later. Enjoy the rest of your day. My pleasure, Frosty Steez. If you are not in our Telegram community, check us out. You can find the link over at materialindicators.com. Thanks again, everybody. See you soon.